You're not ready, Golf Romeo Victor November India. Golf Romeo Victor November India, Zavans RV6A just started up on the west side of the airfield, and we'll taxiing for possibly a 2-6 departure. So, bring the flaps up. If you look out your window, you see these flaps coming up, yeah?
Yeah.
These sticks on the runway, they have a radio. I don't know. No, November India's backtracking 2-6. I'm going to use this runway to depart, you know, because the wind's straight down it.
Yeah.
So you always try to take off into wind.
Yeah, freeze.
Right?
Free speed.
Yeah. But before we do anything, we do on a light aircraft, what you do is power checks. So we do some sort of checks before takeoff. I'm going to position the aircraft into wind.
Yeah.
Alright, so what we do is we run the engine up to 1800 RPM. Holding her on the brakes. A little trick on this thing where I hit that, that'll go to 0. Then we've got magnetos left and right, so she'll run on one set. So I'll try running on left. Slight RPM drop, right? Back to both. RPM comes back up. Go to the right, magnetos, slight drop. Back to both with carburetor heat, which stops de-icing. So put it on and there should be a slight increase in temperature there, which is quite warm, and a slight decrease in engine power. So that looks fine, put that back. Okay, so the temperature's up, pressure looks fine. These are vacuum suction because a lot of the gauges, these huff and puff gauges, work on vacuum.
Okay.
As opposed to electronic. Voltage is 12, so what we do is come back to idle. There, and now it's at 1000 again. Right, then we do what's called the vital actions before takeoff. So the throttle friction lock is tight, so let's stop the throttle, moving it out. We have an elevator trim at the back. It's explained a bit more fully. We'll make sure it's neutral for takeoff. The bars in the middle. Carb heat is cold. The magnetos are on both. Fuel, we're on the right tank. It's got slightly more fuel. I'm going to turn an electric fuel pump on. There is a mechanical fuel pump, but for takeoff we use an electric one. We give her 10 degrees of flap. So first stage of flap coming down for takeoff. Instruments checked and set. This is a pressure one for altitude, so 10 set. Align the DI up with the compass, so we're going to set 30, right. Instruments checked and set. Autopilot is off. Warning lights are all extinguished. Gauges, T's and P's in the green, looking okay. Comm frequency set. Switches and harnesses secure for takeoff, yeah. Autopilot master's on, autopilot is off. Flight controls. Great. And strobe lights, these are the lights on that flash on the end of the, they're on.
Yep.
I'm just going to put my landing light on to Golf November India is ready for departure 26. And hopefully we'll be off before we reach those guys, but what weight are you, roughly?
83.
Alright, I'm just gonna keep your feet clear of the pedals there, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's as airborne. We're climbing out at about 80 knots.
Yeah.
And once I get 300 feet, we're checking temperature and pressures. Flaps coming up. And the aircraft going on full power on takeoff. It's accelerating all the time, so we're up to 100 knots now.
Okay.
So 500 feet, we'll start a slight turn out to the left here.
Are you keeping an eye out for anything, or are you?
Yeah, well, I'm doing lots of things, you know, scanning instruments, but, you know, this is what's called VFR flight, visual flight rules, so
Okay.
I've got to keep a lookout.
Do you have reasonable confidence in this, or are you always thinking?
No, well, I'm always looking out. I mean, there could be aircraft that aren't transmitting, so I'll not see them unless I visually see them, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're at 1,000 feet, which is the normal circuit height. And I'll just level off a little bit here. It's quite murky out to the left there. As we're accelerating up, and I'll pull the throttle back to about 20. Okay, so we're down about 130 knots at the moment, about 150. So I'll cast off Newton Ards, although nobody's there. I'll stick that transponder on, I should have done that. Right, so Newton Ards Radio Golf November India, on leaving the circuit to the southeast, short VFR detail over the Ards Peninsula, and we'll contact Belfast approach and call for rejoin. Right, so I'm just going to talk to Belfast City. Not that they'll be too interested as long. Belfast approach, Golf Romeo Victor November India.
Fast station, how much time?
Yeah, having their tea.
Is this thing here, that's your elevator, did you say?
It's a trim on the elevator, yeah.
Okay, so at the moment that's pointing downwards?
Well, yeah, it's just I'm operating it to take the pressure off the control column.
Yeah.
Just a wee second, because they might come back to me here, so I'm just listening out at the moment. A wee bit further here.
Fast station, calling Belfast approach today, call sign.
Golf Romeo Victor November India.
Golf Romeo Victor November India, Belfast, pass your message.
Golf Romeo Victor November India, Zavans RP68, just airborne from Newton Ards, short VFR detail over the Ards Peninsula. Remaining outside controlled airspace, VFR request basic service.
Golf number in there, Roger. Advise you wish to climb above 2,000 feet VFR. QNH is 1019er, basic service, remain outside controlled airspace.
1019er, report of going above 2,000 feet, remaining outside controlled airspace, Golf November India. Right, so they're not particularly interested as long as we stay outside their zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 1,600 feet now. Let's get her settled down a bit. Pump off. Yeah, so in level flight, what I should be able to do is what's called trim the aircraft so it's just neither descending or ascending, and that's what you'd use for the pitch, you'd use this trim. This aircraft has a tendency to roll to the left, see like that. So there's a little trim wheel, it's manual on this. So I would trim her to the right to try to hold her level, right? So like that. Okay, so still rolls to the right a wee bit. Over. Anyway, she's reasonably in trim. It means you're not constantly fighting with the, with the instruments. So we have a vertical speed indicator to show whether you're going up or down. So 0 is good if you're at this level. The altitude is the altimeter. So we're not. The city have told us not to go above 2,000 feet without speaking to them.
Yeah.
There's the Mulla Galloway, by the way. There's your airspeed indicator. We're doing about 135 knots and about 2250 on the RPM. It's the DI, which is saying we're heading roughly south. GPS is saying we're heading roughly 155, which is more accurate than this bloody thing. Actually, I'll turn it around a bit. I'm going to turn a little bit. And I'll show you the autopilot in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
What does this actually do?
Right, well, okay, I'll show you now, because I'll let you take control in a minute. So, as you know, an aircraft moves in 3 axes, you know, pitch up and down,
Yeah.
roll left and right, and what's called yaw. And if I hit the rudder, you'll feel the aircraft yawing, okay? So, particularly if you're learning to fly, the first thing you got to learn is pitch up, pitch down, roll left, and roll right, okay? It's very gentle movements.
Yeah.
This aircraft, for a small aircraft, is quite fast. So, you know, we're going through the air at 160 miles an hour. So it only takes a slight movement in the. So, essentially, your stick controls your left and right, up and down.
Yeah.
The rudder is a bit more complicated, although, you know, it yaws left and right. When you're in a turn, if you didn't use the rudder properly, if you start to turn, you're what's called skidding through the air.
Yeah.
Which is indicated by this little ball. So it gets a bit more advanced, but when you get a good turn going, you're actually applying a little bit of rudder and the right. But where the rudder really comes into its own is, we might see it as we come into land. If I land on the long runway where there's a crosswind, I'm going to try to keep the aircraft straight as I touch down, because the wind will be blowing me one side. I'll be using the rudder to counteract the effect of the crosswind.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So let's try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you control of the aircraft, which is just the stick, right?
Yeah.
Again, just very gentle movements. And when I say you have control, you say that the normal parlance is you say I have control, so that we don't get confused as to who's If I think there's a problem, I'll say I have control, and I'll take it, and you say you have control. That's just the. All right. So there she's fairly level at the moment. We're at 1,500 feet. We're on a heading of 1819, say 200. 200. So I want you to keep the aircraft not climbing at that height on that heading. All right, you have control.
I have control.
Yeah. Good. So if you get a feel for the horizon and keep her level, the attitude indicator there should also tell you. So that's fine. Now we're going into a climb.
Oh, so we are, yeah.
So you want to just, you know, push forward a bit, bring her down. And now we're starting to roll a wee bit to the left, so try to keep her level. And now we want to, oops, right. No sudden movements. So we're now on a track of 195, so you want to bring her back to 200, to bring her around a wee bit, that's you.
With the rudder, or?
No, just with, don't worry about the rudder at the moment, just with the ailerons. And try not to climb at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. You're 190, so bring around. Now you're descending, so just bring, whoops, easy, just bring her back a bit.
Just the tiniest control.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's good, you're on 20, so level the wings now. There's your AI, just glance at that.
Oh yeah, oh.
Make sure you're, but also glance outside.
There we go.
Oh, that's fine, you know, you've gained about 100 feet, which, with practice you'll certainly get to know it.
So you want this to be at 0 if you're staying flat?
Yeah. We've got Bishop's Court Airfield. It's an old disused airfield ahead of us, so if we wanted to go down, you know, set up, say, a 500 feet a minute descent. Let me just show you, I have control. So what you do is, if you just point the nose down, you'll start to accelerate. But what I do is pull the throttle back a bit, right? She'll start to descend naturally.
Okay.
So I'll try to get her down to, say, 500 feet a minute, right? There's 500 feet. Pull a wee bit of power of that, and we'll pull the nose up a bit. That's about it. So we're going down at 500 feet a minute. So we're now passing through 1400. That's the way you'd control the descent.
Yeah.
I'm just down a wee bit steeper at the moment, we'll go 1,000 feet. Okay, so just approaching 1,000 feet. So we'll level off, which means putting the power on. Okay, the nose comes back up again. And hold it there. Now I want to climb up to 1,500 feet again, so again full power. Aircraft starts to accelerate and I start to pull up. Now I get a 500 feet a minute climb.
Yeah.
600, 700 feet. And I can go up to 1,000 and maybe more, you know, full power. That's her climbing up. And I can also do a climbing turn as well. So that's the motorcycle track down there.
Claiming so, low fuel?
Yeah, oh well, what have I done? Okay. Just bring around a bit. So, I mean, all those sorts of things, you know, if you were learning to fly, that's all the sort of basics, you know, yeah. But is there anything else you want to know, like, or?
Those four, that was pretty good. I had no idea that it was such constant sort of relation to each other.
There's actually what's called a scan, and it's those instruments there, which is your airspeed, your attitude indicator, your altimeter. Sorry, I just get her set. Your DI and your vertical speed indicator. But these 1, 2, 3 and this one, this is what's called the T. Those are the pretty critical ones, so you know your airspeed keeps you flying, you don't let it drop below stall speed. Your AI will tell you whether you're turning or level. Right? Yeah. Say you were in IMC, which you know, cloud. Your altimeter gives you the altitude you're at, and that's the heading. And those are the critical instruments.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just show you now. I'm going to stick the autopilot on, right? So that's her on autopilot. There'll be servos working away to keep her at that heading and at this altitude. Yeah. Now, if I want to say turn right up to heading up north again, I'll just turn her, say, on the 040. So the aircraft will start swinging around on the 040.
Okay.
Now you even watch that or that. So 040 is about there. Zero.
Very cool.
So she's starting to roll out now, you know. So so.
And if you hadn't adjusted trim.
Well, it'll still unless she was very badly out of trim.
Okay.
If she's very badly out of trim, these little bars will appear, which means she's the servos that are underneath it are working very hard. But and then you would trim her, you know. But it's not absolutely essential when the autopilot. But it's good practice to keep her on trim. If I wanted to descend, say at 500 feet a minute, I just switch that over to that. Put down 500 feet a minute. I will start, so we're at 1,600 feet.
And so it won't reduce the RPM though, will it?
No, it won't. And that's, I mean, this isn't a particularly sophisticated autopilot. On a big jet, we'll be doing all those, but in my case, because the airspeed is going up here, I'll just throttle back a bit. But she will hold the speed at, or you know, the vertical speed at 500 feet a minute.
Yeah.
Roughly. So, and what she won't do is stop at, we'll get a bit bouncy here. So I got to keep an eye on the altitude, you know, this would fly you straight into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, there's no terrain warning or anything.
Yeah.
So, so I'm just going to hit, and then to get altitude hold, oops, I'll hit alt, hold, and put the power back up a bit.
If you come into the bad turbulence, do you just accept it, or do you go up or around?
Well, we try to get out of it if you can, you know, sometimes you just have to accept it. But the other week there, I was up in Oban, which is up the west coast of Scotland, and it was a very windy day, turbulent, and we're coming down, approaching the Mullican Tower, and we're getting bounced about, and I was saying to the guy I was flying with, oops, sorry, the autopilot off there.
Huh.
There's an automatic disconnect here for emergencies.
Okay.
So we were getting by, I was at about 2,000 feet, and I said to Marty, I said, well, let's try, we'll get up to 5,000 feet. So I spoke to air traffic. They said, yeah, you're cleared up to 5,000. And once you got up there, it was very smooth, you know, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we're flying at relatively low altitudes, obviously. Jets will be... I see some United went into Cannon today. There were 16 people injured. Did you see that?
Oh, I did, yeah. From heading into Heathrow.
Yeah, from Houston. So
yeah.
They obviously got quite a bit of very bad turbulence. Now, those guys would normally, you know, other pilots will be speaking to air traffic and they'll warn them and try to get them at a different level, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not.
When I was flying to Australia, we were over Afghanistan, and massive turbulence. The captain said he'd been flying for 30 years. And my laptop was on my lap, and I flew up and hit the ceiling, and everyone else that wasn't seatbelted in.
Right. Right, well, there's not much more to it, you know, I mean, is there anything else that you want to know, or
no,
we'll head back up again? I know it's only just a short flight.
No, like, it probably doesn't seem like it to you, but that's a massive amount of information to take in, like. It's very good. I keep on asking Paddy, like, what's he doing and all, and it's all good in theory, but when you see it yourself...
Yeah. There's another little instrument there I should have said to you, but it's quite sophisticated, and not many aircraft of this type. It's called an angle of attack.
Yeah.
So it's a fairly sophisticated bit of electronics that's hidden down there, but it's connected to a number of things: the dynamic pressure, the static pressure, plus two very special ports out on the outer wing, and they will detect the stall.
Yeah. So
although there's a stall warner, these lights here will start to light. So one green light is good, that's in the cruise.
Yeah.
You'll see as we come into land, it'll go to 2 greens and then it'll go to 2 ambers, which means that you're on an approach speed. Once the red light starts lighting, there's 3 reds, then that shows you're getting near the stall. So you will probably, as I'm over the runway just about to land, you know, we'll get 2 or 3 reds, that's fine, because you're just landing. But it's a very useful instrument, you know, if you're in cloud or something.
And so obviously that's doing that regardless of whether you're landing or not. It's,
yeah.
Well, intentionally landed.
It's also, it can, well, I have it disconnected at the moment because we have put a pain in the ass, but there's an audio connection on it into here, which if you were to exceed what's called the critical angle of attack, you get this American girl screaming at you saying, angle, angle, push, push, which means push forward on the stick, you know, your angle's exceeded.
Yeah.
But if you do, you know, progress with the aviation career, and you'll obviously get into all the theory of it, but the people talk about stalling speeds and all this. Well, stall speed can vary dramatically with the weight of the aircraft and various other things, what's on the wings. What is constant for any one aircraft is the critical angle of attack, and it's this here that will detect that critical angle.
Okay.
So regardless of weight or whatever, it will let you know, whereas you can't always depend on the stall warner, you know.
Yeah.
So it's quite sophisticated. Right, we're just coming back up to Newton now. It's Mount Stewart down there, and just I'll cast off Belfast. Sorry, just we saying Belfast approach Gulf November India, we're at Mount Stewart 1600 feet with Newton in sight, and request frequency change 128.3.
Gulf November India, free call Newton 128.3, bye.
128.3, Gulf November India, bye. Right, go ahead, you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you're going somewhere new, or do you like check out visual viewpoints or whatever that you know you're looking for?
Yeah, well, I'll show you when we're on the ground. You get plates and all, and you know, and you can check on the navigation software. So then you got the radio frequencies. I mean, now there's nobody in the radio tower, but again, practices. There might be somebody else flying. I always call Newton and let them know what we're doing, where we are.
Yeah.
Newton Radio Golf Romeo Victor November India, Zavans RV6A, just north of Mount Stewart, inbound to the field 1300 feet, and we'll join overhead check runway orientation. if there's no air traffic services, what I'll do is you normally fly over the airfield at about 2,000 feet at higher, and you look down to check the windsocks to see which is the preferred runway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see the airfield there just ahead of us. And
yeah.
Well, the wind is down 2.6, the one we took off. But what I'm going to do is I'll just show you hopefully a crosswind landing. I'll come around and land on the longer runway on 2.1, and it'll be a crosswind landing.
Yeah.
So you'll see what the...
I heard there was a big fire in Belfast earlier.
Yeah, Kennedy Way.
Yeah.
Some waste centre. Golf November India is in the overhead letting down dead side to join crosswind for runway 21. So I'm on what's called the dead side of the airfield, so I'm coming around now to, it's like a rectangular circuit.
Yeah.
And then we do what's called a downwind leg, where you fly parallel to the runway but the opposite direction. And you do what's called your pre-landing checks.
Presumably you wouldn't have gone if there was low cloud.
Sorry?
Presumably you wouldn't have gone if there was low cloud.
No. I mean, we're not approved really to fly into cloud. I mean, you do fly into it, you know, if you're on a long journey sometime, but you wouldn't normally take off. So we're coming along crosswind. You'll see the runway down that way, but I'm going to come right round. About 1,000 feet now. So just to warn you, in case as I come in and if the crosswind's too strong, what I'll do is I'll put the power on again and come around and land on the other runway.
Yeah.
Golf November India is turning downwind, left hand 2-1. So we do our pre-landing check. So brakes are off, undercarriage is down and fixed, mixture is rich, fuel is on, sufficient for roll round. So fuel pump on. I'm just going to put her on the other tank, left tank. AI's lined up. Hatches and harnesses secure for landing. Yep, check. A little bit of carb heat. I don't know why it's flashing out fuel on it. Hopefully we have enough fuel to get back here. Right, this is what's called base leg, where we're at right angles to the final approach path.
Yeah.
The runways around there. What I'm going to start doing now is slowing the aircraft up. Okay, so pull the throttle right back. I'm going to try to get her down to about 70 knots for landing. Once I get her down to the top of that white arc, I'll start putting flaps down.
Yeah.
So there's 110.
When you put the flaps down, that increases your stall speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's just over 100.
Or
sorry?
Decreases, rather?
Sorry, decreases, you're right.
Yeah.
There's one stage of flap coming down. Second stage. Golf November India, final 2-1 to land. And there's full flaps. So you'll see the angle of attack then changing. So there I'm doing about 80 knots. So you can see now the way the aircraft, this is the crosswind that's causing me to crab into the, so this could be interesting. What I'll do is use the rudder to kick the aircraft straight as I... It's always a bit... Paddlers flying away there. I'm glad I did land on 2.1 and not 2.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a bit interesting to land on a crosswind, you know. Particularly when it's a gusty one like that.
Yeah, that was very smooth.
Right, so it is fuel. Go November India runway vacated. Right, flaps up. There's nobody else flying tonight, I've heard from modelers.
Somewhere that tells you what the flaps are at, or is that just by looking out the window?
It's only by looking out the window.
Yeah.
On this plane there's no... Some aircraft there are, but I have this switch set, you know, it's 1 flex 10 degrees, 2 flex is 20, and 3 flex is 40 degrees, full flaps.
Yeah.
And when I bring it up, it's the fully... But no, you just look out the window. Right, so just shut down here a second.